As 2025 approaches its final weeks, Jungkook of BTS finds himself under a spotlight that feels distinctly different from the one that defined his earlier years. This time, it is not a comeback stage, a chart-topping single, or a world tour announcement that dominates headlines. Instead, Jungkook's name circulates widely in fashion editorials, luxury brand analyses, lifestyle trend reports, and cultural commentary columns. From Paris to Seoul, from digital runways to beauty campaigns, Jungkook's presence has quietly but decisively reshaped conversations around modern masculinity, luxury branding, and cultural influence. The end of 2025 marks a turning point where Jungkook is no longer discussed solely as a global pop star, but increasingly as a style authority and lifestyle icon. This transformation did not happen overnight. Nor was it accidental. In the early years of BTS's rise, Jungkook's fashion image was often described in simple terms: youthful, sporty, approachable. Oversized hoodies, sneakers, and relaxed silhouettes became part of his signature look, mirroring his role as the group's youngest member. Yet even then, fashion editors noticed something unusual. Jungkook did not dress to impress trends. Trends seemed to follow him. By the mid-2010s, items worn by Jungkook, whether airport outfits or casual live stream appearances, regularly sold out within hours. Unlike traditional fashion influencers, Jungkook never explicitly marketed his style. The influence felt organic, driven by authenticity rather than strategy. This quiet power laid the foundation for what would become far more visible years later. One of the defining elements of Jungkook's fashion journey is how seamlessly he transitioned into luxury spaces without abandoning his personal identity. When luxury brands began aligning with K-pop idols, critics often questioned authenticity. Could global pop stars truly represent heritage fashion houses? Jungkook's rise in this sphere challenged that skepticism. By the early 2020s, Jungkook's styling evolved. Tailored silhouettes replaced oversized fits. Subtle accessories carried symbolic weight. Neutral palettes conveyed maturity. Yet his image never felt forced. Fashion critics observed that Jungkook embodied a rare balance: luxury without arrogance, elegance without detachment. This balance would later become central to his appeal as a brand ambassador. Jungkook's mandatory military service marked a physical absence, but also a symbolic reset. During this period, Jungkook disappeared from the fashion cycle. No red carpets, no campaigns, no trend headlines. Yet paradoxically, his influence did not vanish. Archived images resurfaced. Past outfits trended again. Fashion retrospectives revisited his style evolution. The absence created space for reflection, not decline. Industry analysts later noted that Jungkook's military hiatus functioned as a cooling period that elevated anticipation rather than diminishing relevance. When he returned, the industry was watching closely. In December 2025, Chanel officially announced Jungkook as its global ambassador for beauty and fragrance. The decision immediately drew global attention. Chanel, a brand rooted in heritage and timeless elegance, rarely appoints ambassadors who represent generational shifts so directly. Jungkook's selection signaled a deliberate move toward redefining luxury masculinity for a new era. Industry insiders highlighted several factors behind the partnership: Jungkook's cross-generational appeal, his clean yet expressive image, his global reach across Asia, Europe, and the Americas, his credibility beyond performance-based celebrity. This was not a short-term collaboration. It was a cultural alignment. Jungkook's Chanel beauty role carried significance beyond branding. In South Korea and beyond, beauty endorsements for male figures have often been limited or stereotyped. Jungkook's appointment challenged those norms. Rather than promoting exaggerated masculinity or softened aesthetics, Jungkook's campaigns emphasized balance, confidence, care, and individuality. Beauty editors praised the messaging. Jungkook did not break masculinity, he expanded it. This approach resonated globally, particularly among younger audiences who view self-care and grooming as expressions of identity rather than vanity. Following his Chanel announcement, Jungkook appeared across multiple fashion platforms. Editorials described him as the face of modern luxury youth, a bridge between street culture and haute beauty, a redefining force in post-idol branding. Unlike traditional ambassadors, Jungkook's coverage extended beyond fashion magazines into cultural journals, business analysis pieces, and trend forecasting reports. The narrative had shifted. Jungkook was no longer simply wearing fashion. He was shaping how fashion communicates with a new generation. While numbers alone do not define influence, Jungkook's metrics in late 2025 told a compelling story. Mentions of Jungkook alongside luxury fashion keywords surged. Search trends connected his name with grooming routines, fragrances, and minimalist styling. Importantly, analysts noted something rare: consistency across regions. From Seoul to Paris, from Jakarta to New York, Jungkook's influence translated without heavy localization. This universality reinforced his value as a global figure. Jungkook's lifestyle impact extended beyond fashion and beauty. His public habits, fitness routines, music tastes, daily discipline became topics of discussion across wellness and lifestyle communities. Media outlets highlighted his balance of professionalism and humility. Jungkook did not project an unattainable lifestyle. Instead, he embodied aspiration grounded in effort. This relatability amplified his influence far beyond aesthetics. One of the most discussed aspects of Jungkook's 2025 image was maturity. Journalists observed fewer words, more intention, calmer presence in interviews, increased control over public exposure. This maturity aligned perfectly with luxury branding, which values restraint over excess. Fashion critics argued that Jungkook's post-military image felt earned, not manufactured. As 2025 ends, Jungkook stands at a unique crossroads. He remains a global music powerhouse. Yet his fashion and lifestyle influence suggests a longer trajectory, one that could outlast trends and cycles. Industry experts predict expanded luxury collaborations, deeper involvement in creative direction, continued influence across beauty, fashion, and culture. Jungkook's journey illustrates a broader truth. Modern influence is no longer confined to a single field. One of the most significant cultural shifts associated with Jungkook's rising influence in fashion and lifestyle is how he has quietly redefined modern masculinity. Unlike traditional archetypes that emphasize dominance or emotional restraint, Jungkook's public image in late 2025 reflects balance, strength paired with sensitivity, confidence paired with humility. Fashion critics and sociologists alike have noted that Jungkook's appeal lies in his refusal to perform masculinity as a spectacle. His grooming choices, body language, and styling communicate self-assurance without aggression. This representation resonates strongly with younger generations who increasingly reject rigid gender expectations. Rather than presenting masculinity as something to prove, Jungkook embodies masculinity as something to understand and refine. In an industry driven by constant exposure, Jungkook's selective presence has become a defining strength. By the end of 2025, Jungkook speaks less publicly than many of his peers. Interviews are rare. Statements are measured. Appearances are purposeful. This restraint has enhanced his mystique rather than diminishing relevance. Media analysts suggest that Jungkook's silence functions as a form of branding, one rooted in trust. When he appears, audiences listen. When he endorses, attention follows. This approach contrasts sharply with the oversaturation often seen in celebrity culture. In a noisy digital world, Jungkook's quiet confidence stands out. For Jungkook, fashion has never been purely visual. It is emotional language. Stylists who have worked alongside him describe his involvement in outfit selection as thoughtful rather than trend-driven. Each look communicates mood, stage of life, and artistic intention. Neutral tones during reflective periods. Structured silhouettes during moments of transition. Softer textures when conveying vulnerability. This emotional literacy in fashion has elevated Jungkook beyond surface-level influence. Fans do not merely copy his outfits, they interpret them. Such depth is rare in celebrity fashion, where image often outweighs meaning. One of the reasons Jungkook's influence continues to grow is credibility. Unlike celebrities who endorse multiple competing brands, Jungkook's partnerships remain limited and carefully curated. Industry observers note that this selectivity strengthens trust between Jungkook and consumers. His collaboration with Chanel Beauty, for example, aligns seamlessly with his evolving public image, mature, refined, and quietly expressive. There is no visible contradiction between who Jungkook is and what he represents. This alignment between identity and endorsement is increasingly rare and increasingly valuable. Jungkook's lifestyle influence transcends geography in Asia. He represents emotional openness within discipline. In Europe, understated elegance. In the Americas, authenticity and creative independence. These interpretations differ, yet all connect back to a single core image. Cultural researchers point out that Jungkook does not impose an identity. He allows audiences to project their own values onto his presence. This flexibility makes him not just a star, but a cultural mirror. Luxury brands have traditionally relied on exclusivity and distance. Jungkook disrupts this model by associating luxury with relatability. Jungkook makes high-end fashion feel accessible without diluting prestige. Consumers do not feel excluded, they feel invited. Market analysts observed increased engagement among younger demographics following Jungkook's fashion-related appearances. This shift signals a broader transformation in how luxury brands communicate in the digital era. Jungkook is not simply representing luxury, he is helping redefine its language. Despite his growing presence, Jungkook avoids overexposure, a strategic rarity. He does not flood social media. He does not dominate every campaign cycle. His appearances are spaced, intentional, and often understated. This controlled visibility prevents audience fatigue and preserves long-term interest. In many ways, Jungkook's influence grows precisely because it is not forced. Experts describe this as sustainable celebrity, a model increasingly admired but rarely achieved. Jungkook's fans play a unique role in amplifying his lifestyle influence. Rather than merely promoting content, fans engage in interpretation. They analyze styling choices, decode visual themes, and contextualize appearances within Jungkook's broader narrative. This participatory culture transforms influence into conversation. Jungkook's image becomes a shared language between artist and audience. Such depth of engagement strengthens longevity far beyond viral trends and an era marked by uncertainty. Jungkook represents stability. His consistency in values, work ethic, and personal boundaries offers a sense of reassurance to fans navigating rapid cultural change. Psychologists studying celebrity influence note that figures like Jungkook provide emotional grounding. He does not dramatize his life. He does not perform chaos. Instead, he models calm progression. This emotional reliability has become one of his most powerful, if understated, assets as 2025 closes. Jungkook stands on the threshold of a new chapter. His influence in fashion and lifestyle no longer feels transitional. It feels established. Yet it also feels unfinished. The groundwork has been laid for deeper creative involvement, potential design collaborations, and expanded cultural leadership. What comes next remains intentionally unclear, and perhaps that uncertainty, controlled, calm, and deliberate, is exactly what keeps the world watching. By late 2025, Jungkook's personal aesthetic has reached a level of refinement that feels both intentional and effortless. Gone are the experimental phases often associated with early fame. In their place stands a cohesive visual identity, clean lines, muted tones, and subtle contrasts. Fashion editors describe this evolution not as a departure from his past, but as a distillation of it. Every element now feels purposeful. There is no excess, no distraction, only clarity. This refined aesthetic signals not just maturity, but confidence in self-definition. Behind Jungkook's polished public image lies discipline. Those close to the industry consistently point to his work ethic as a defining factor. Whether in music, fitness, or brand collaborations, Jungkook approaches each commitment with structure and preparation. This discipline resonates deeply with lifestyle narratives in 2025, where wellness, balance, and routine have become aspirational values. Jungkook does not present success as effortless. He presents it as earned. That message carries powerful cultural weight. Minimalism has become a key feature of Jungkook's influence. His fashion choices rarely rely on loud statements. Instead, he favors clean silhouettes, neutral palettes, and understated textures. This aesthetic aligns seamlessly with contemporary luxury, which increasingly values restraint over extravagance. Minimalism, in Jungkook's case, is not emptiness, it is intention. For fans and observers alike, this approach offers an alternative to excess-driven celebrity culture. One of Jungkook's most notable strengths is platform adaptability. His image remains consistent whether appearing in high-fashion editorials, casual behind-the-scenes footage, or official brand campaigns. This cohesion strengthens his credibility and prevents fragmentation. Digital strategists note that Jungkook's presence feels authentic regardless of context, a rare quality in an era of highly curated online personas. Consistency, in this sense, becomes influence. Jungkook's rise as a lifestyle authority is inseparable from timing. And 2025. Audiences are increasingly drawn to figures who represent stability, mindfulness, and quiet confidence. Jungkook's image aligns precisely with these cultural needs. This timing amplifies his relevance. He does not chase cultural shifts. He arrives when they are ready to receive him. Such alignment is often mistaken for luck, but it is better understood as preparedness meeting moment. Media coverage of Jungkook has noticeably evolved. Where earlier narratives focused on talent and performance, current reporting emphasizes character, consistency, and long-term impact. Journalists increasingly frame Jungkook as a cultural figure rather than a pop phenomenon. This shift reflects broader recognition of his role beyond entertainment. Jungkook has become a subject of analysis, not just admiration. Perhaps one of Jungkook's most compelling traits is how he influences without instructing. He does not issue style advice. He does not promote routines. He does not define rules. Instead, he lives visibly and allows others to observe. This passive influence feels respectful and empowering. Audiences feel free to interpret, adapt, and personalize rather than imitate blindly. In a world saturated with directives, Jungkook's approach feels refreshing. Trends fluctuate. Aesthetics evolve. But consistency builds trust. Jungkook's image has remained steady through changing cycles. This reliability reinforces his credibility across industries, from music to fashion to lifestyle branding. Consistency, critics argue, is what transforms popularity into legacy. By maintaining alignment between values, actions, and image, Jungkook secures long-term relevance. As discussions around longevity grow in celebrity culture, Jungkook stands as a model of sustainable influence. He avoids burnout narratives. He respects personal boundaries. He allows growth to unfold naturally. This pacing suggests intention, not urgency. Cultural analysts predict that such an approach positions Jungkook for relevance well beyond peak popularity phases. At the close of this phase, Jungkook appears poised rather than rushed. There is a sense of calm anticipation surrounding his next steps. Whether in music, fashion, or broader creative leadership, expansion feels inevitable, but not forced. This calm before expansion may be the clearest indicator of Jungkook's evolving power. He no longer needs to announce change. Change follows him.